Duel number one has officially concluded from Daytona International Speedway, and we see a little bit of chaos near the end of the race, and we see a driver lock their way in to the Daytona 500. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching Duel number one from Daytona International Speedway. We got quite a bit to talk about from Duel number one. Let's go and talk about it. So at the start of the race, you had Joey Logano lead the field from the inside with Kyle Larson on the outside, and Kyle Larson got a really good run and was able to clear Joey Logano for the race lead. And there was a lot of back and forth up front. He had a lot of side-by-side. He had Eric Jones lead for a little bit. Then he had Ricky Stenhouse Jr. take the lead in lap number 10. Then Corey LaJoie got the lead in lap 18, and then Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was able to get it back. Then Corey LaJoie actually tried to get to the race lead, but fell and got stuck in the middle and fell back through the pack and dropped about 10th to 12th position. Then we saw Toyotas come up to the front with Martin Truex Jr. getting up to the lead. Then Stenhouse got the lead back, and then Martin Truex Jr. came in. And during about halfway through Duel number one, you had Anthony Fredo come to pit road, but unfortunately, he ended up speeding on pit road and lost the draft. Then with 21 laps to go, Jimmy Johnson, Tyler Reddick, Ty Gibbs, and Eric Jones would all come down to pit road. Martin Truex Jr. was going to join him on pit road, but unfortunately, Tyler Reddick came down in front of Martin Truex Jr. and basically nearly wrecked himself. And unfortunately, Todd Gillen and Austin Dillon, who were trying to avoid an incident and wreck, they were able to get a little damage, but luckily for them, they were able to still continue going. Then the next lap, you had Austin Dillon and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. come down to pit road. And then about 3 laps later actually, then Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Corey LaJoie, Daniel Suarez, Ross Chastain, Alex Bowman, Carson Osbar, Martin Truex Jr. would all come down pit road. Martin Truex Jr. would have a terrible pit stop and would lose the lead draft. And Ross Chastain got a speeding penalty on pit road. Then the next lap, you had Todd Gillen, Joey Logano, Ryan Preece, and Chris Buescher all come back in. And then the cycle would be complete with Kyle Larson being the leader after the pit stops had happened. With 11 laps to go, the field started checking up because everyone was getting really, really close to each other. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. would get in the back of Daniel Hemrick, who was checking up after the field was starting to check up. And unfortunately, no one had anywhere to go in the back. And unfortunately, Jimmy Johnson, Austin Dillon, and I believe another car were involved in the crash. I think even maybe Reddick was involved in that wreck as well. No one really got any serious damage except Daniel Hemrick, who'll have to go to the backup car for the Daytona 500. But Jimmy Johnson, who was a big, important, of course, trying to race his way into the main event, he basically got some damage in the wreck. So then on the restart with 6 laps to go, you had Kyle Larson lead the field from the outside with Daniel Suarez on the inside, and Kyle Larson and Daniel Suarez battled back to forth for the lead for the final few laps. But eventually Kyle Larson, with 4 laps to go, was able to clear for the race lead. And as they're coming to 2 laps to go, Chase Elliott gets a really strong run, I believe, to the inside or outside, and is able to clear for the race lead down to the bottom. And coming to the white flag, you had Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott and Daniel Suarez battling for the race lead. At this point, J.J. Elliott had actually gotten the advantage over Jimmy Johnson and getting the last transfer slot to make it into the main show and event. As they're going down the back straightaway, Kyle Larson is able to clear Chase Elliott, and then Alex Bowman tried to give a really big push to Kyle Larson, but Tyler Reddick got a really big slingshot going down in turn number 3 and got a great run, was able to pass Kyle Larson for the lead, and Alex Bowman tried to push Kyle Larson up. Larson gets loose, leaving the door open for Tyler Reddick to clear everybody, and coming off the final corner, Tyler Reddick on the last lap makes a last lap pass and wins Duel number one at Daytona International Speedway. Going back to the transfer battle, Jimmy Johnson was able to hold off J.J. Yeley and get the final transfer spot to make it into the Daytona 500. After the race, Jimmy Johnson went to congratulate J.J. Yeley, or not congratulate him, but went to shake his hand, which I thought was very, very classy from Jimmy Johnson and J.J. Yeley to shake each other's hands. I have a lot of respect for that, in my opinion, and I'm really happy to see that Jimmy Johnson was able to make it into the main event and show, because again, he said he was very nervous in the media after yesterday not being able to make it in the top 2 from qualified. So nonetheless, congratulations to Jimmy Johnson on getting into the Daytona 500. And also congratulations to Tyler Reddick on winning Duel number one. Reddick was kind of came out of nowhere, to be honest. It was about a 5th to 10th place car most of the evening. We knew Toyotas were going to have some good speed, and we're pretty quick and fast. But you know what? Nonetheless, for Tyler Reddick, a big day for him. We'll be starting in 3rd position in the Daytona 500. So nonetheless, a really great run for Tyler Reddick. Congratulations to him on winning Duel number one. So now we're going to take a look at the race results. I'll give you my score and thoughts on duel number 1. So Tyler Reddick picks up the victory. Chase Elliott finished second. Great run for Chase Elliott after not having a great race to the Clash. A great bounce back week for Chase Elliott. He'll start 5th in the Daytona 500. A fantastic run for Chase to finish second. Had a chance to win duel number 1. Alex Bowman finished third. Really solid run for Bowman. Ran top 10 most evening. Probably ran about top 15 a lot of the night. But near the end of the race, he got up front and finishes a respectable 3rd place. Good run for him. Carson Hocebar finished his 4th. Great run for Carson Hocebar, who basically ran outside of top 15, was able to get up front, and will be starting in the top 10 in the Daytona 500 in around 9th position. Eric Jones finished 5th. Eric Jones had one of the stronger cars in the field. Not the best car, but for the first half of the race, he had probably a top 5, probably top 2, top 3 car, and finishes in 5th. He's going to be someone to watch for in the Daytona 500. Daniel Suarez finished 6th. He had a really good chance to win duel number 1. Obviously, a really big year for Daniel Suarez when it comes to the contract talks. A really good showing for him. Didn't make any mistakes tonight and finishes a respectful 6th place. Good run for him. Joe Logano, who was starting on the pole, finishes 7th, dropped back and wasn't really a factor in duel number 1, but I think he was trying to save the car and got up front at the end and finishes in 7th. Ty Gibbs finished 8th, solid run for him. Kyle Larson finished 9th after probably being in the captain's seat to win with 2 laps to go. He gets dropped, kicked back to 9th position. Kyle Larson really unlucky at super speedways, but hey, the car at least is still in one piece for Kyle Larson and finishes in 9th. And Chris Buescher rounds out the top 10 in 10th place. Ross Chastain, which Chris Buescher was not a factor. Ross Chastain, after the speeding penalty, is able to at least recover up to 11th position. Jimmy Johnson finished 12th, and like I mentioned, transferred his way into the Daytona 500. He was really happy about that. Ryan Preece finishes 13th. Mark Truex Jr., who dominated the second half of this race after stalling on pit road, was never able to recover. He finishes 14th. Corey LaJoie finishes in 15th. J.J. Yeley, unfortunately, will not race in the Daytona 500 this year. He finished 16th. He put up a really good fight. I didn't think he was going to keep up with the pack tonight. He really showed some good pace and speed, and he finished in 16th. Todd Gillen finished in 17th. Austin Dillon finishes in 18th. Anthony Alfredo, who already is locked into the show, he finishes 19th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who dominated the majority of this race, unfortunately got a ton of damage. Looked like he had the best car for most of this event. Unfortunately for him, he had the crash from the damage. He finished 20th, and Daniel Hemrick finishes last in 21st place. So now let's talk about the overall race as a whole, and I'll give you my score and thoughts on today's race. Honestly, this duel was really fun to watch. You had a lot of lead changes throughout the pack. You had a lot of side-by-side. You had a lot of great racing, a lot of really chaotic and fun moves. But duel number 1 I thought was going to be the calm race. And honestly, while it was calm at times, there was still a lot of aggression for sure. And I thought it was a very, very fun duel. So my score of duel number 1, I'm going to give this race overall a 9.5 out of 10. It was a really fun duel to watch. The finish was exciting to watch. I thought it was a fantastic race. My score is 9.5 out of 10. So, that is going to be it for the race review of duel number 1 at Daytona. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on so you'll be notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support my Patreon as well. Link description below that, and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. What are your thoughts on duel number 1? Let me your thoughts in the comments below. Congratulations, Tyler Reddick, on picking up the victory. Right after duel number 2, there will be a race review dropping on the channel. There's probably going to be a paint scheme video of all the Daytona 500 paint schemes dropping in the morning, and then there will be a NASCAR news video along with the Truck Series race review after the Daytona Truck Series race tomorrow. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.